There's a lot of things that happen on our homestead that don't make it into our videos. A lot of times that's just because it's work that needs to get done and we don't always have the camera with us, believe it or not. So there's things that we want to show you today. Just some updates around the homestead of things that you haven't seen in other videos. And then also some things that you've been asking for updates on that we just haven't shown you yet. So let's get going. We're gonna go for a walk around the homestead. The first thing that we've been working on, which was an unexpected project, is this right here behind me. This past weekend we had a line of really powerful storms come through the Ozarks. It was about 2:30 in the morning when we got an alert that there was a tornado warning and that we should go down to our shelter. By the time we got the kids up and everybody was dressed and we started to head out the door, it was pretty much over already. It just went through that fast. But when we came out the next morning, we found this huge oak tree down in our driveway. It's blocking our driveway. Right now, we can't even get the cars out.
I guess the storm brought through 80-mile-an-hour winds. This oak tree is humongous.
Yeah.
Way back by the trunk, it's probably 4.5 or 5 feet in, the trunk. That's how tall it is now that it tipped over. But it fell over and you can see it from the road. It took out one tree next to it and damaged 2 others. So Kevin and I spent a good part of yesterday cutting it up, the big limbs, and moving it to an area that we can work on later. We still have probably the same amount of work left to get this cut up enough to get in and out of the driveway. I'll tell you though, our tractor has been indispensable for this project. These logs are just huge, hard to move.
Yeah, the bale spikes that I just recently bought for the tractor, now that we're having to move the big round bales of hay, have worked out perfectly. I can pull the tractor up, get it underneath here, and be able to cut and then move big pieces of the tree away. Sometimes I think God has a sense of humor. If you remember just a month or 6 weeks ago, I did a video where I was saying that I was a little worried about the amount of firewood that we had for the winter. Well, I guess God heard my prayers about that and he decided to give me a bunch of new firewood to cut up for the winter. So I've got about 4 cords stacked up already. And this is going to give us probably another couple cords of wood. So.
Even though at first it seemed like just another huge task to add to the to-do list and it was a little overwhelming, it's a blessing. And when we just get down to working, it just, the project just gets taken care of quickly.
Right. Luckily, it didn't fall on anything important. No cars got damaged or the house or anything else. So it fell in a really good spot. So let's head out by the road because we've got something that a lot of you have been asking about.
We have not done an update in a long time about how our sunflowers did. This summer we planted this entire strip right in the front of our property with sunflower seeds, black oil sunflower seeds. We were hoping that we'd have this gigantic crop and all this seed that we could press into sunflower oil, but it wasn't that successful this year. I think overall we planted late and we didn't have a good plan for how to water all of this. We did get flowers, but not a bunch of them and they weren't very big. So it was a learning experience this year. We might try it again next year. We may switch our focus from sunflower seeds to use for oil to sunflower seeds that we can just eat and enjoy as a snack for our family. We'll see, we've got the whole winter to think about it. So overall, the sunflowers weren't a win, they weren't a lose. I was able to sell quite a few of them as cut flowers at the farmer's market, so that was fun. The next year we'll try something else, we just haven't decided what yet.
The next update is on Hope, our Jersey cow. This past weekend we had her artificially inseminated and we're hoping that it went really well. So here's some footage from when he was here doing it.
And we've had quite a few people worried that she won't be able to calve an Angus bull.
Oh no, this is a Cavanese bull plus the calf's half Jersey.
Right.
Right. Well, and she's 6.
Yeah, she won't have any trouble.
And the other question we've had a lot is people think she's way too skinny.
No.
You see a lot of dairy
she looks
cows.
Perfect to me.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I think a lot of people are used to seeing beef cows, you know. And
Yeah. No, if she was fat like a beef cow, she probably wouldn't be a very good milk cow.
right.
So I'm just gonna find her cervix.
Now, do you go through the opening and right into the uterus?
Yeah, you have to go through the cervix. It's just kind of the hard part. There's rings in the cervix that you have to kind of manipulate the cervix around the gun to get it through. That's where I'm at right now, in her cervix. I mean, you just barely pass through her cervix to the uterine body. Right before the two horns split off. That's where you deposit the semen. And then we'll give her another shot of cystadrillin, which, in case she's not going to do it on her own, it should cause her to go ahead and ovulate.
Okay.
A lot of people are also worried about these injections putting hormones into the milk.
The injections we're giving her, we're not giving her any more than naturally occur in a cow that comes in heat on its own.
Okay.
Now, what should we expect now?
Well, in about 21 days, if she didn't get bred, 18 to 24 days, but normally around 21, you'd start seeing signs of heat again.
Okay. Now, tell us again, 50 to 60% chance this is gonna work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did she show any signs of heat?
Just what I texted you the other day that
Picture.
she's having a little bit of discharge yesterday morning, but I don't know.
She said
It was more mucusy than like the clear discharge that she had
Yeah.
when we saw her come into heat, so I don't know if it was more from taking the cedar out of her.
the protocol to get her to come into heat. It doesn't, if you do 100 cows, you usually get 70 to 80 of them to come into heat.
Okay.
So you guys, now it's just a waiting game to see if she's pregnant. We've got a couple options to figure out if she's pregnant, different pregnancy tests. But we think we're gonna try out the urine test, see if that works. So we're excited to bring you guys along and let you know whether or not she has a baby inside of her.
Right, I've got it in my calendar on day 18 to start watching to see if she comes back into heat. Between day 18 and 24, somewhere in there, she should come into heat if she is not pregnant. But if she is pregnant, we shouldn't see any signs at all. And then by day 28 or 30, we can do the pregnancy test and find out. So everybody be saying some prayers that this works the first time. That would be great. But if not, we'll have him back out and we'll try again. While we're over here by the cow pen, I wanted to show you guys the next update. I've been doing some work back here with my tractor to try to prepare this area for next spring. When we had this area cleared last winter, we had a company come in called Knobside Custom Land Clearing, and they have a big machine that can kind of grind up whole trees as they go through, and they're able to clear land very, very quickly. It's an awesome service, and I highly recommend having that type of service done wherever you're at. It saves you so much time. The only downside is that when they're done, it does leave quite a bit of big mulch on the ground. At first I thought that, that wouldn't be a problem. We'd be able to get things to grow up through it. But as we were watching things over this summer, I realized it's not breaking down as quickly as I had hoped. A lot of that is because a lot of ours was cedar. It's also just prohibiting us from being able to get pasture seed to, get actually down to the dirt. So this week I started taking my tractor. I have a big rake on the back of my tractor, and I've been raking this area out to get all of that big mulch out of here, so we're left with just the dirt and whatever natural grasses are growing. You can see behind me the huge pile of stuff that I've raked up. Right now I've raked it all into a big pile. I'm going to start later this week just hauling it all out of here, I'll probably put it somewhere where we can let it break down over time and use it for things around the homestead. So this is one of the projects that I've been working on that just hasn't made it into a video until now. I'm also going to take my time this winter to really try to learn about what I can do to try to turn this area from what was just a big wooded area into a pasture area for the cow and the goats.
Our blue slate turkeys are doing well, even though their friends, the white broad-breasted turkeys, have been gone now for several days. We processed them for the freezer for us to eat over the next year, the white broad-breasteds. And now the blue slates have all of the turkey area by themselves. We're happy to continue having the blue slate turkeys as permanent residents on the homestead. They're beautiful birds. I think they're growing really well. And now that the broad-breasted turkeys are gone and we have a chance to just look at these guys, we realize that we have 1 tom and 4 hens, which is perfect. All 4 of the hens, come spring, should start laying eggs. Because we have 1 male, they should be fertile, so we can hatch some of those eggs, either have the hens hatch them for us or bring some into the house and incubate them so that we can expand our flock so that we can start producing all of our own turkey meat here on the homestead. They are gorgeous birds. We really enjoy them, even though they can be somewhat of troublemakers. There's quite a difference in behavior between the white broad-breasted turkeys, which are a hybrid, fast-growing. There's a big difference between those guys, their behavior, and the blue slates. We have been reminded just recently how curious they are and how mischievous they can be.
Well, one big difference between the broad-breasted turkeys that we just processed last week and the blue slate heritage turkeys that we're keeping is their ability to fly. Those broad-breasted turkeys are just so big, they never flew at all. But these blue slates, they are just crazy. Even though we clip their wings, we've been clipping their wings once a month. Obviously, we need to start doing it more often. I'm absolutely amazed at how quickly their wing feathers grow back. Maybe that will slow down when they're done growing and they're full size, but for now, we're gonna have to trim them every 2 weeks.
Now let's go check on the pigs. We've been raising 3 pigs on the homestead this year. One of them has already grown big enough. We've taken it to the processor for the customer that purchased that pig. So we have the 2 pigs left that Kevin and I will process here on the homestead for our family. Let's go check them out and see how big they're getting.
Well, the pigs are definitely growing nicely. Since we took Big Mama to the butcher several weeks ago, the other 2 pigs have had more than their fair share of good things to eat, and they're starting to put on weight really nicely. The cement trough that I bought for them is working out so well. I can give them lots of good things to eat and they can't push it all around. I brought down some soured milk and some other things for them today. I'm gonna give that to them and see if I can weigh them and see where they're at. I think Penny is still a little bit bigger than Pee-wee, but we will find out. Now, for those of you who don't know the difference between soured milk and spoiled milk, let me explain it to you a little bit. When you buy milk at the store that's been pasteurized, pasteurized milk can spoil. Which means it's no good to eat. You shouldn't even feed it to your animals once it's spoiled. But raw milk doesn't really spoil. Raw milk sours. When it does that, it separates naturally the curds from the whey by fermenting. It may not look very good, but it's actually a really healthy thing to feed your animals. And finishing these pigs by giving them lots of this soured milk will make them grow really fast, put on some nice weight at the end, and give the meat a fantastic flavor. So I'm going to give them their treat. Pee-wee's just busy taking a nap, so hopefully she'll get up, and I'm going to try to at least weigh Penny. Usually Pee-wee won't let me weigh her, but I'm going to try today. Maybe she'll finally be distracted enough that I can do it. Now, if you don't know how to weigh a pig without a scale, I did a video about it and we'll leave a link to that. But it's really easy to weigh a pig with just a simple tape measure or one of these paper measuring tapes. So this is the way to go. Let's see how much they weigh. Oh good, Pee-wee got up. Well, this was a first. Pee-wee actually let me weigh her today. This was the very first time I've ever been able to get a weight on her, so that's good news. And I was right, Penny is still just a little bit bigger. After I measured them both and did my nerdy pig math, Penny today weighed in at 248 pounds. Now our goal with all of our pigs is to always get them between 250 and 300 pounds. That's the perfect weight to process them. So Penny is just about there. Now Pee-wee weighed in at 221 pounds, but she's gonna get there soon too. So that means we probably have 3 to 4 weeks left with these pigs before they'll be ready to process. What I'd like to do is wait till the weather cools down just a little bit more. I prefer to process these big animals in colder weather. That way you're not battling the heat and the flies and everything else. So if we get a nice cool streak coming in here during the month of November, that's when we'll be processing the pigs. Well, I hope you enjoyed coming with us today to get some updates around the homestead. I know a lot of you have a lot of questions about things that we're doing, and we try to answer as many as we can through these types of videos. There's always things to be keeping you busy when you're living the homesteading lifestyle. Raising your own food is a big responsibility, and it takes a lot of time and work, but it is so worth it. Hey, if you're enjoying our videos, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button before you go. If you would like to help our channel, the absolute best way that you can do that is by sharing our videos on all of your social media. Spread the word, let people know that there is another way to live besides being caught in the rat race. You can live a life that you love as well. Find out what it is and go for it. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.